everybody, it's Chris from KM Designs Pattern Co. And today it's a scrappy Senza because I just recently went through my scraps, some of them that I had in another bin, pulled some colors out and found enough to make one at 80%. So this, and I am not a big bag person, so I have started to reduce to 80%, so you can kind of get a visual. Let's get this on of how much bigger it is. It actually fits right inside. So part 2 consists of same pattern pieces. The only thing is I have added templates to the bottom for the bag feet. The interior top band, there are places, different locations for magnetic snaps. And then on the exterior body, it now has placement for straps and your rivets to give you a help you out. So, and also on this one, we're going to make it without foam. Not a lot of people like to use it. Let me get my chair set up. Not a lot of people like to use foam. I am one of those people. So we have just used woven interfacing and Decaville light on a home decor fabric. So as you can see, I might have to turn a set of lights off or a set of lights on so you can see better. First time video for YouTube. Let's see if that makes a difference. It also might affect my webcam. So this one is really bright and you really can't see. There you can just see the edge of the Decaville light, and these are the 2 exterior pieces. After you get everything cut and fused, you want to go ahead and mark some center points. So to do that, you can use the pattern pieces, or you can fold in half. You're also going to want to do the interior body. I have closed her out of my room. And I am just trimming up the interfacing. I'm doing the bottom edge of the interior. You're also going to want to do the center on the bottom. And I've already prepped. This is the bottom I used in my short video that showed you how to install bag feet. So that was the inspiration for the full video here today. So I can reuse these pieces. And we're just going to get started because my key is making me nervous. So the first thing that I do, since we have to let glue dry, is apply the zipper stay to the interior body. So I'm going to measure down 3/4 of an inch. from the top edge. Place a line, and I am going to mark the top on this as well so I can get the center. So that my zipper is centered. Here is a zipper stay. This can be made out of Bontex, Craftex, or Decaville Heavy. If you have and I forgot that I'm getting to the end of my Fabri-Tac. So center that. There you go. And set it aside and let it dry. I'm going to try. Okay, that may be a little better. So while that's drying, since this is a scrappy Senza, I'm going to show you an alternative for the straps. I am going to use webbing for mine. I am going to place an overlay on it. So I have marked and applied my DST down the center. I'm going to remove the DST backing and fold the raw edges in. I'm going to add this as an overlay. And I'm also trying to see if anyone's watching, you can let me know. This is the first time I've done a live. There. I'm really super bright. And it keeps popping up and telling me my connection is unstable. So I'm not quite sure what that means. I don't know if you were seeing the video or if I'm just breaking up or how this is all working. So once you have I'm going to apply another piece of DST down the center. Eyeball it and center it from side to side. This type of overlay on webbing with cork vinyl fabric. You can also make it so that it is the same width as the strap. So let's go ahead and I'm going to stitch it 1/8 inch from the overlay. Increase. since it's not a vinyl, I don't have to worry so much about the stretching, so I'm just going to go across the bottom and rotate it to back up the other side. Now we'll go ahead and get the other one. Okay. Sorry, I'm just taking a look at the YouTube on my phone to make sure that I didn't miss any chats, just in case there are. Instructions, and I don't normally do my straps first, but I have oopsed and not had enough. So that is always why you make the straps first. You always want to cut your straps first as well, to always ensure that you have enough. And on this, since it's a scrappy one, I didn't have enough of either fabric or any of the vinyl, and that is why we chose the webbing. Also for this, I'm all out of nickel bag feet, but I do have an alternative that I think that will work. I am always big on trying to use what you have in stock instead of always having to order. And I think my kitty is finally settled because I don't hear her anymore. And just an FYI, I normally do everything from my worktop. I get everything prepped and I take it over to my machine. This is not its normal position, and so I'm a little awkward working at my machine. I don't feel I have enough space to kind of throw. This is just a tad short, so let me restart this just to make sure we don't have a shortage on the other end. So yes, I feel a tad awkward working up here. Lower, because I have an OCD about my stitches, and these are definitely not perfect. So we now have the second one done. And if you're wondering, I am trying to follow through in the same structure as the pattern. And I have to make sure that I throw my DST away because my kitty does absolutely love the backing. So the next thing you want to do, I did not mark, but I am going to take my pattern piece, place it on top of the exterior body. I'm just going to clip it to the sides because this is reduced, so the straps And then you want to place about an inch. I think that's, mine says about a half inch above the top edge, but I actually go about an inch. And if you reduce, I'm using the inside line. And I'm just going to place a couple clips. And this is also where if the strap is too long for you, you can also adjust the length of the strap at this time. It doesn't matter how much is on the inside of the bag. There's one. And so the second one, I am going to clip my pieces together because I want my strap placement in the same spot. Because I have definitely made totes where my straps are not in the same spot. So this is one way to eliminate that. Everyone always has their little tricks that help them. And this one helps me. And I'm actually probably more than an inch above the top. We'll just double check. Because we also want the same length. I don't work well sitting down. Okay. Two bag straps are assembled. Now we're going to go to the bag bottom and the stabilizer. Just so you can see, I have a terrible light. There we go. I'm using Peltex and I have cut it out of the seam allowance. I have also used the template and marked holes called Sam Brown studs. And they are these little screw-on. And since this bag is small, I am hoping that this works out okay. I've also cut extra washers. So add a washer from the back side, and then get those to line up and then tighten. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but there it is. I don't think I've ever seen anybody use them in this regard, but we are today. So again, unscrewing the feet, adding the washer, placing through the screw through the back side, and then getting the threads to line up. Yeah, I don't even know if you can hear that. My air conditioner is in my. So he may join us. There he is. Hi there. Oh, shh. Wow. Kitty, I am right here. All right. Now that we have them all installed, we're going to go ahead and tighten those screws. Also, we'll be placing a little bit of, this is some Gorilla duct tape I've ever worked with. Duct tape I can rip, this stuff I cannot. Unless I cut it first. And they do have different colors. I have made bags. In the beginning, I would just have the gray duct tape, because that's what my husband had. And then I would look through the bottom on a light interior or light lining and go, oh. So we went on a search for the white. There you go. There is the bag bottom with the Sam Brown studs. I think that's going to look really cute. And next up is our exterior end pockets. That's the bottom. Here's the two pockets. Here's the two ends. Now, since this is a reduced size, the pattern tells you to pleat these, and it is this way with the pleat coming out. On this bag, I put the pleat towards the inside. But since this is reduced, I am going to put the pleat towards the inside, just going to mark my center bottom. So what we got? 8. I am going to do an inch on this reduced. So let's turn the iron on. So we need to get a really good press on these pockets. That is the trick, so they don't stick out. On the original, I am not a very good presser. Oops. And I'm pressing, for this reduced one, I'm pressing 1 inch out from the center. And before I do the pleat, I want to stitch top stitch the top edge fold. And let's do it on the second one. And I'm just going to eyeball this one. Okay, and then what I'm going to do then is fold these in towards that center line and place a clip. And before I baste this, I'm going to check the width of the pocket. All right, and my pocket's a little bigger than my side piece, but that's okay. I'm not going to change it now. I will just center the pleat with the center of the bottom. And I'm just going to baste it. I will clip this top edge to hold that pleat in place. And then since it's a little larger, I am just going to flip it over, baste from the wrong side, and then I'll trim the sides. I'll go back to my cutting mat. And again, the measurements aren't quite the same as the pattern because this one is reduced. And it is okay to wing it sometimes. And once I get this one basted, then I will press it better. Okay. You may have noticed on my sides, I'm not using vinyl. I actually used the same home decor fabric because I didn't have enough vinyl. And on these sides, I added the Decaville Light, kept it out of the seam allowances. Let's place the raw edge to the bottom. Not the top stitched edge. And baste. right, and now I want to press these. And you can actually put them in your heat press. And I can go ahead and do that. Let me turn this on. I'll turn my heat press on and press these pockets so that you can see how to get a good fold on those. All right, next part. We're going to add the sides to the exterior front of the body. And my heat press is probably going to take forever. So I'm going to use the iron since it's hot and ready. But you can get a pretty good press. So, exterior body and exterior side, right sides together. And I'm actually going to, excuse me, my side is just slightly larger, so I'm going to align my top edges, making sure that I have the pockets in the correct placement. So when we start to stitch, we're going to stitch almost all the way to the bottom. I leave the seam allowance unstitched, so the width, so I will stop, since this is a reduced, I'm going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I'm going to stop approximately a 1/4 inch from the bottom. Well, there's different ways that you can assemble this. You can actually assemble the sides to the bottom and then stitch it that way as well. In the pattern, we stitch the sides to the body. And now I'm just placing okay, and you can see we have the sides and the body taken care of. And then now I'm going to attach the bottom. So I'm just going to pull these straps up out of the way. Center points on the long edge. and clip together. I have a couple of bins of clip. And then the reason you stop a 1/4 inch from the bottom, you can pull that the side piece out of the way to align your ends. Also stopping a 1/4 inch before the bottom. When you go to trim your corners for the bulk, you don't ever have to worry about your stitches or cutting your stitch line and having it unravel on you. So I'll get this all lined up. I'm actually going to clip a mark and working out. And then you also may need to pull back the stabilizer a little bit, also out. Now what I'm trying to do is I can feel the seam allowance on the side and the exterior body, and I'm trying to butt my needle right up to the edge of that to start my stitch line. And also making sure my vinyl is flat. There we go. Now I may have gone one stitch too far into the pocket. It's all right. And these little Sam Brown studs want to make the vinyl go all funky, which is fine. I can do it with regular bag feet as well. Sometimes it may be easier to install the feet after. You will find out what works best for you the more you make. And now I'm going to do the same with the ends. Now I'm pushing the body out of the way so that I can use the side seams where I had stopped the 1/4 inch above. That's where I'm going to start. and my corners are completely stitched. So all my edges, all my corners meet. Setup, I didn't realize that I did not plug in my laptop. So sorry about this. My battery's running low. So, okay, back to these is just trim off that corner. It reduces the bulk. And I try to keep any of my clippings at least 1/8 of an inch away from the seams. Okay, and let's see where we're at. And so that's what we are going to do. And then we're going to move on to this interior zipper pocket. All right, this isn't like the normal zipper pockets that you see. I learned how to make from someone that works with leather. Now here again, I should have used black, but you can see the zipper stay. I am going to draw triangles at the end. And then it's in the pattern. And I'm going to cut on those lines. While I'm cutting, I'm going to let my glue get towards the top of the bottle. And I am going to cut all the way to the corners. Well, if you don't like this method, it's perfectly okay. I've been making mine this way for a few years now, so I'm very comfortable. And I'm looking for my rag. What I want to do is at these edges, I am applying and then you're just going to fold them over the ends. Let me get my pick. Harbor Freight, and I use it quite a bit. Get those corners like that, and then Now, if you have a bone folding tool and you know how to use it, this is when you can use it. Or if you don't, it's okay to use your fingers, and that's what I'm going to do in this video. I just am going to run my fingernail along the edge of that stay, and it helps fold up the edge. And let's get a little glue on here. Here we go. I have a little container for when my Fabri-Tac glue gets towards the end. That helps. Is glued down, and then we'll do this top edge. Again, just using my fingernail. And this is why I always have glue stuck to my fingers, but Fabri-Tac comes off really easy. So now we have the box made. Now, at this point, I'm going to dress the corners. I'm just getting out a scrap piece of cardboard. I'm going to squeeze some Fabri-Tac glue on there. And with this pick, I just want to pick up a little bit of glue. And I am touching the edge of the corner with the glue, and then I'm going to just push this pick towards the inside. You can also apply some glue here as well on the back side. Or from the right side to the wrong side. Ensures that the glue doesn't get on the outside of your fabric. And as I mentioned, I've been using this method for a few years. I actually find that I like it better because my whole zipper pocket is going to be one solid structure. All right, now that you have the box all glued, I am applying DST. I will to the top and the bottom edge, covering the fabric you just glued down. And now I'm going to look for my zipper. I have the pull. There we go. All right. Since I'm using black zipper tape with the blue tee, I'm actually going to add a matte black zipper pull. There we go. All right. Remove the DST backing. And the pull facing left. And I always cut my zippers the same length as the stay. And there it is. Next thing I'm going to do is add another piece of DST on the top and bottom edge of the zipper. And get my zipper linings. These are my sides. There they are. We have cute little Scotty dogs. And this is a flannel. From when I used to make quilts. So I've had it for a little while. So if you have a directional fabric, you're going to want to be looking at that in the correct position. Flip it and place this along the bottom edge of the zipper. Fold it over enough to keep it out of the way of the zipper pull. I'm going to add the top one as well, and I'm going to fold this up out of the way. So starting in one corner, I'm going to top stitch the bottom first. Okay. And then once the bottom is sewn, I'm going to flip the other lining down. And your zipper's top stitched. Now, once you get your zipper top stitched, carefully pull back. This is the zipper stay, the zipper, and the lining pieces. I'm going to stitch these all together. Same with the other side. Now, this zipper pocket lining was a little short. I placed it incorrectly, so the zipper's complete. But there you can see. Oh, this light is horrible for this. And your one lining's done. All right. Next, we have our interior top bands, and we have added magnetic snaps to them. I used the center pieces. There was 3 different placements. There it is. 3 different placements for the interior top body. I'm using the 2 in the inside. Since I've reduced, this is the piece that I used in my other short video. So I just pulled out just to show you, placing the magnetic portion of the snap through the right side to the back side. And How to bend the prongs, or I can't bend them today. So I just pounded them over with my hammer, and I'm going to cover them with a piece of duct tape. Same with the second. Place the magnetic snap, stabilizer, and washer. Like that. And there you go. Well, I will say this, I've learned that this lighting that I have is not working. You probably cannot see as well as I would like you to see. It's kind of one of the reasons why I always do my videos from above. And now I am going to mark centers on both the top bands and the interior lining pieces. So I want everything to line up. And we already have it in here. And I just have to fix one thing. All right, interior top bands, lining, and these are centered. So line up your center points. Clip. Line up the center points and clip. And then I'm also going to clip the side bands to the sides as well. And stitch these. Now I've chain stitched them because it's easier. Now when I flip these, since this is vinyl, I'm going to let the vinyl lay flat and flip over the lining piece. Oh, and our puppies are upside down. So, that's one thing you have to watch for, directional fabric. See, I'm so worried about doing the video for you ladies. I completely spaced that out. So, let's fix that. And I have lost my seam ripper. I have no idea where it's at. So I'm improvising. And if you see me looking that way, that's because I have my laptop set there, and that way I can make sure that you can see everything. I'm still getting used to looking at the camera, but we always have to start somewhere, don't we? I'm really excited for anyone that's following along with this because I have some amazing changes that I want to do, and I'm going to go step by step. So some of you it may be a little slow for some of you, but for anyone that's beginner and just starting out, I'm going step by step and making small changes so that you can learn these changes one at a time or a couple at a time. So let's one thing I also have found is lint rollers help to get rid of these extra threads when you seam rip, especially the little ones that you can never seem to get a hold of. And I'll pick up. Plus I have kitty cats that I need to protect. So you will see me wipe my strings and scrub on the floor. All right, doggies are facing the correct way. And now we can fix this. Increase and that vinyl, fold that down. Now, some people may do it the other way. Some people may fold the vinyl up, but I fold it down or keep it flat without folding it so that it's all about the thickness. I know a lot of you ladies sew with domestic machines. So try to keep the thickness reduced. Take the two sides. We're going to line these two top edges. So it doesn't shift, I'm placing a clip below and above the seam. I'm never good at cutting my strings, so we will have to start trying. Align those top edges there. Clip above and below. Again, I'm going to start at the top edge. Once I get to the band, I am going to increase my seam allowance. Exterior. Then the other interior body piece, aligning the top edges. Or not top edges, your side seams. Between your top and since this top panel is a little bit wider, I'm going to start stitching that. We need the bottom. This has the center marks. Align those just like we did for the exterior. Just popping those sides out so they stay out of the way. I'm only stitching a little bit on one end, leaving that center open. And then we'll come down here to the other end. And then let's stitch these. sides to the bottom. And I'm going to trim up these corners. One thing I am really horrible at is pressing. I think I already mentioned that. So you can press these, but we are going to continue on. So we've left part of the bottom open. We are making sure our zipper pocket is open. And we want to turn our bag right side out because we are going to put right sides together. So the exterior will be placed inside the lining. If you're using anything like waterproof canvas, vinyl, anything stiff, even with the Duct light interfacing, you can use a hairdryer to warm it up. It will all turn so much easier. You don't want to apply too much heat, so the interfacing, especially your Decaville, you don't want it to come off your fabric. So exterior, right side out. Now, if you have a side that looks better than the other, then that, of course, you will want to place that to your front. These are identical. You want to make sure your straps go down inside. And you can actually don't have to push your corners out. It's actually easier if you don't fully turn it right side out. So my bad. And I have a corner there I need to fix. We did not stitch it all the way. So let me fix that really quick. Okay. So anyways, we're not going to completely turn it. We want to leave it a little bit like that. Make sure your straps are down inside. You're sandwiching your straps between your interior and exterior. You will align your center points on the top edge of the body pieces. And work your way out to the sides. Now at these corners, you can open these seams up on the interior and exterior and align them. Sometimes if your stitching's a little off, You can see one corner is more that way. So what I do is if it's a little off, you can also nest your seams so both are folded over. Either way works. Matching my center on the other side. I'm just folding that bottom up a little bit so this I can get these tops to match a little better. All right, and now you can stitch both layers together. Now I'm also making sure my straps are straight and not tilted. Okay, we got a little off track. And just splitting that seam open. All right, you see your straps are above, and I am folding the bottom in half. And just keep working it. Birthing never is as difficult as I make it look. It's just the hand limitations I have. this is where you can get your corners out. You can also check for any stray threads. Like I have right there. Okay. And one thing that works well when you're turning, I got these from got them from her several years ago when she was out of the country, and held on to them, and they are perfect. Okay, and I'm just rolling my crease. If your machine stitches better for you, if you enter the bag this way, if you want to turn your bag so the interior is on the outside to top stitch, go ahead and do that. I think I'm going to clip everything first, and then I can just do let's flip these around. This is turning fairly easy because of the Duckville light. Just clip edge. So before I top stitch, I am going to check to make sure that my lining fits. Pushing it into the corners. And yes, once I press this, everything should fit really well. And I'm going to go ahead and just top stitch mine like this. Now, what I do is on top stitching, I hate back tacking. It's an extra step, but I pull out long thread tails. And I tuck these in. My other basket. And if your straps are a little crooked, this is the time to straighten them out. Now when you come up to the seam, you can use a hump jumper. falling off the end. For some reason, it wants to cut on the edge, and I'm probably going to have to fix these corners. I'm still learning my machine. I just found a couple of features, and I've had it a year, or almost a year. And that's one thing that I don't like. The automatic cutting feature. So that's frustrating. I need to put the piece in front of the pedal. I backtracked over where I stopped and started. And so once you get a top stitch, you're going to reach inside, or actually reach inside your pocket. You're going to pull your lining up through the bottom. My pocket's a little small, so you might have to work it. On the original size, fairly easy to get in and out of your pocket. And we're going to stitch the lining closed. Some of the excess off. Now I could have done this before and not through the pocket. And I do more trimming because I don't press a lot. So if you like to press, mine again, it's an issue with my hands and not because I'm being lazy. All right. And now we're going to pull the zipper pocket lining up out of the hole. Fold the raw edge in on one side first. I place some clips to hold it. And then this allows me to turn the sides. And then fold the raw edge in on the other side of the pocket. And back to this corner. That way then the corners are nice and flat. And sometimes not. Might be just the flannel. Okay. Of course, the last step is going to be the one that gives me the most problems. Okay. And Senza is complete. We're just clipping thread ends. Tuck the pocket inside. Trying to get my corners down in on my pocket. And as you can see, the lining fits pretty well. This is what it looks like using, oh, let me remove that plastic. Magnetic snaps, or you can leave it open. And your Senza is complete. I think anyone who watches this, I will definitely be improving on my camera location and my lighting setup so that you can see everything so much better. Thankfully, it was the Senza, which we'll be doing again when I'm free, which is going to be a recessed zipper, and I believe I'm going to do a slip pocket. I'm not sure if I'm going to add a third item in, but also before, now I don't usually use rivets with webbing, but at this time, if you want to secure your straps, you have that excess down inside, go ahead and center your mark, punch your hole, and place your rivets. I sure do hope that you come back and watch me again some other time, and hopefully I will have improved by then. Thanks so much. If you liked the video, don't forget to click like, and if you want to receive notifications when I come back on, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.